we would be to wellness what Dave Ramsey is to finance in the church world. And Dave Ramsey has tens of millions of people that are unshakably committed to the principles that he teaches in his books, and there's no reason in the world we can't do the same. As a matter of fact, the last one that I set up at a 1,000-member church that I'm doing on Tuesday when I go back, I walked in and just told them, hey, this is the program is, you've heard of Financial Peace University? Yeah, well, this is the same thing, but it's for health. And he looks at it, well, how much is it for the participants' kids? $40. He's like, wow, Financial Peace is like $100, this is no problem, let's do it. You know, pretty simple. And what I want to talk about today a little bit is how to get these things set up, and then we're going to spend some more time in the breakout. But you guys, so Dr. H and Dr. Sosa here, you guys had an amazing winning race that Dr. Ben flew down for. It was at Harborside, is that right? So how many people were actually at that event when you guys did the winning race?
It was between 800 to 1,000.
So about a 1,000-member church. How many new patients you said came in?
Probably around 75 to 100.
Yeah, that's not too shabby. And I know that most people, when you hear that, you look at those numbers and go, and I know you've kind of been given the key to the church now too. Like the pastor, really wants this for his members, and you guys are the go-to people for that, which is, I know you've been able to bless a lot of people. How did that start? Because I know most people are like, well, how do I go get that thing going? Did you just walk in off the street? Just give me a couple minutes on how that actually started.
Actually, it was a really long process. About 3 years ago, we had a few members become patients. So I was taking care of these members, and as we started just to be there to love and to give and to serve, we started just a food makeover with just the women's group. So it started off really small, and over time, actually we're blessed to have Erica Parker, which is the pastor's daughter, started working in our office, and she's been trying to get the father to follow this nutrition thing, because she actually is our nutritionist in the office for a long time, but as you know, daughters sometimes don't always do what their dads say. So then over time, Dr. Serrano ended up actually getting him as a patient, and that's where they kind of went to the next level. He asked basically, Dr. Serrano was asking the pastor, we would love to serve your staff. So that's how it really kind of started off. So we started serving the staff, and we did a small makeover just for the staff. Well, as a result, the pastor lost about 35 pounds, and he actually came up to us and said, okay, we need to do this for the entire church. So that's kind of how it then started.
So the rest is history. And so what we're going to do today is a demonstration, about a half-hour demonstration on what the Winning My Race should look like. So I'm going to do part of it, these guys are going to do part of it. We'll bring you guys back up in a few minutes, so thanks for helping out. So what we want to get into right now, give those guys a round of applause. They're doing some pretty amazing things. So what we're going to do is actually a live demonstration. So we're going to take you through this. If you're taking notes, this is what the open will look like. We're also going to do the essential 2 part, and then also some fun exercise parts for you. And then I'll show you how to wrap it up. So let's go ahead and get rolling. All right. Welcome to the 28-day Winning My Race Challenge. You guys are excited to get rolling today? Come on, are you excited to get rolling today? Tell you what, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to help you discover that energy, time, and discipline to win your race. Because the bottom line is that you have a race to win. God knit you together. He formed you for a purpose. And I don't know much about knitting, but I've been told that you don't knit something and then figure out what it's for later. That's probably what I would do. You start knitting a sweater knowing that it's going to be worn as a sweater. Well, when God knit you together, He did that for a purpose. You have a purpose on this planet and a mission on this planet that no one else in this room or on this earth can fulfill except you. So it's important that you win. So what we're going to do today is teach you how to win your race, not just start your race. We want to teach you how to win it and see it through. So the idea of this whole program, the 28-day challenge, is that I don't think what's going on in our society is God's idea for His children. So if you just look at how things are going right now in the United States, how are things going when it comes to our health? We doing good? We doing bad? Not so good, right? Not so good. And if you just look at the state of the world today, just some statistics for you guys. Americans take 80% of the world's supply of painkillers. That's incredible if you think about it. And 118 million antidepressants every single year. We're the most depressed country in the history of the planet. Right now. We rank 37th in the world in overall health. That's out of 40. So we're 37th out of 40 industrialized first world nations. That's terrible. I always tell people we're 16th in the world in soccer, and we're terrible at soccer. Okay, we're twice as bad at health than we are at soccer. That's really bad. Nearly half of Americans die of heart disease and cancer. 5 million people in the United States have Alzheimer's. That number is going to double again in the next decade, they're saying, as the baby boomers start retiring. 1.4 billion worldwide are overweight, and that's a bigger problem right now than global warming. And if you just look around, you see that's real in our society. And then autism right now impacts as many as 1 in 88. That number is old. That number keeps going down. It's as low as 1 in 60 now. Children with autism. So my question to you is this: how many of you guys have kids? Raise your hand if you have children in this room. Leave your hand up. Leave your hand up. Now leave it up if you want that for your children. No, if you want that for your children. Those things, those numbers. You want those things? Nobody wants those things. I have kids. I don't want my kids to be depressed. I don't want them to be on painkillers. I don't want them to have Alzheimer's disease. So if God made you, do you think God wants that for you? He doesn't want that for you. He doesn't want that for us. That's not what God had in mind. So our mission is to change that and start turning that around. And the way we do that is we want to teach you how to develop some disciplines. We're going to talk about nutrition today. We're going to talk about exercise today. We're going to talk about a lot of great things that you're going to learn regarding your health. And it all comes down to discipline. Because how many of you guys know, raise your hand if you know that an apple is good and a donut is bad? Got that? We all got that, right? The problem is, why is it so hard to choose the apple rather than the donut? You guys know what I'm saying? We know that we should be eating the apple. We know that's good for us, but we choose the donut too much. It's about discipline. And nutrition is important. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but a lot of things went wrong for the human race when a bad neighbor convinced Adam and Eve to cheat on their diet. You guys remember that? So nutrition is obviously important. We're going to get into nutrition today. But what we're going to get into first is how to have the discipline to see it through. And, what we talk about, one of the first things you'll get in your book and your participants guide that you had, and what you'll follow through with this 4-week class, is you're going to learn what we call a big why. How to develop the discipline of a champion and determine why you're doing what you're doing. And what we always teach in our office is it's not good enough to just know that, I want to lose a few pounds because I want to look better in these jeans or in my bathing suit or whatever. You have to have a bigger why than that. And, there's a quote that says that a man who has a big enough why can bear almost any how. So we're going to teach you the how. We're going to teach you the things to eat, the things not to eat. We're going to teach you scheduling. We're going to teach you all those things. But you have to have a reason to do it. You have to have a big why. So a why is just a commitment to serve God and conform to His will and not the world's, right? So when you read in Romans that we want you to do not conform any longer to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your what?
Mind.
Of your mind. Your mind. The battle is won in your mind, and that's what we're going to spend a few minutes going through here today. I have a big why for my health. I know that God put me here for a purpose. I don't want to repeat the things that I've seen in my family with my children. I want them to grow up and have a life that I didn't have as a kid and have health. And I don't have my grandparents anymore. My parents aren't doing well anymore. I don't want that to happen to my kids. I know God put me here to do better for them, but also for this planet. So I need to win my race. I have a patient who's a pretty good example of his big why. And his name's Robert. Robert, when he came to see me, he was under the care of the VA hospital, so he was on 17 different medications when he walked in my door. He's about 45 pounds overweight, can't feel his feet because he has such bad diabetic neuropathy, didn't know anything about nutrition, exercise, never been given anything other than a pill to do something about this. And when he came in the office after we did a winning my race at his church, he walked in and he said, I can't even make it from, because I asked him, I said, what do you want to do? Why do you want to get better? What do you want to do with your life here? He said, well, I would like to be able to make it to the mailbox and back in one day. Like literally the guy sat on his couch, wasting away on his couch because he couldn't even make it to the mailbox. He was so sick. And what happened with him is he started applying these things that we're teaching in the program over the next 4 weeks for you guys. And Robert now, after about 3 months of starting the program, Robert is off of all 17 medications. Robert has reversed his diabetes, no longer has diabetes, and now what he does, once a month he travels to Juarez, Mexico, and takes Bibles and food and shoes to these kids that literally live in the trash dump in Juarez, and he saw that, that's not right. So he goes over there and does something about it. What do you think would have been God's plan for his life? Sitting on the couch, not being able to make it to the mailbox, or being able to serve in a huge way, right? That's God's plan, and a lot of you guys have something that you want to do, something that God placed in your heart. And I hear so many people say, I want to serve this way, or I want to do something at the homeless shelter, or I want to go on missions trips, or I want to help, with orphans, whatever it is, but I'm sick, I'm depressed, I'm overweight, I don't feel good, I have migraines. Well, we're here to remove that today, so I want you to start thinking about what's your big why. Why do you want to stick with everything that we go through here? Now, This is one of my favorite stories. I love Michael Phelps. That's some of his gold medals right there. Michael Phelps has more gold medals than most small countries have, and he's a pretty amazing athlete. And what we're going to talk about here is how to discover your right race and what we call your unique talent proposition, your UTP. So there's a race that you've been called to win and you've been called to run, and you can do it better than 1,000 other people sitting around you. And if you know anything about Michael Phelps, he's a pretty unique individual when it comes to swimming. He has this wingspan thing. He has a disproportionate wingspan. So when he puts his arms out, he's actually 4 inches wider this way than he is tall. That's extremely rare in a human being. And what is he perfectly shaped to do? What do you guys think? Swim, right? How many of you guys have seen him play golf? Anybody ever seen him play golf? He's not perfectly shaped to play golf. So yeah, I saw the Haney Project, and this guy goes out and ends up, you see a world champion swimmer hacking the golf ball around. Well, recently, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but he wanted to retire and kind of focus on golf. What's he doing again now? He's doing what? Swimming. He's back swimming, right? Because God made him to swim. And there's something right now that you have that no one else has that you're better at than them, okay? And we too many times we compare ourselves to the people around us, but God gave you a unique talent, and we've got to discover what that is. So what is your race that you need to win, and rather than trying to run somebody else's quick race? Second winning principle here, and again, you'll have this in your book, is get axe fight tough. This is a quote from Dan Gable, who's an incredible, legendary wrestling coach. He said, "Gold medals aren't really made of gold, they're made of sweat, determination, and a hard-to-find alloy called guts." So it's about being axe fight tough. Where that term came from is in your book you'll read, Dr. Ben Lerner had a teammate, and the coach always said, "You know what it is about Johnny? That guy's tough. I would want him on my side in an axe fight." And I'm like, every time I hear that, I kind of cringe, because I don't think you can actually win an axe fight, can you? I think even if you win, you lose, right? That means you get hit with an axe at some point. You're a tough dude. If I want you on my side in an axe fight, you must be pretty tough. And the thing to understand about this, as you try to change anything, all right, as you try to change things, you're going to be different than the rest of society. You're going to be going against the current. But I tell you, that's a good thing. You should be weird. Craig Rochelle wrote a book called Weird, When Normal Isn't Working Out Anymore. You guys ever read that book? Normal ain't working out. Normal is antidepressants and painkillers and being overweight and diabetes and heart disease and cancer. That's normal. Normal's not working out, so we need to be weird. So go ahead and look at your partner, look at the person next to you, and tell them you're weird. Tell them you're weird. Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. Weird. And the thing to understand, when you walk out of here, we got all kinds of great will in this place right now, and we're excited. But you know what? Monday's going to happen, and there's going to be those donuts in the break room, right? Or there's going to be someone telling you, "Why are you doing that? Why don't you just do Slim Fast instead?" So the opposition is going to come, but the opposition is there to build you and grow you stronger. Okay, so we need to be axe fight tough for this thing. Dr. James Davis says that there can be without a test, there can be no testimony. Well, there's going to be tests, but if you overcome them, you're going to have an amazing testimony.
I saw the picture.
Alright, Harborside, I get to teach you guys about essential number 4.
That's not the picture.
And that's maximizing lean muscle mass and oxygen supply. Simply, in a really nerdy way, this means exercise. Today, we're going to revolutionize the way you guys exercise and get you guys in the best shape of your lives in just minutes a day. Who wants that? That's right, we all do. How are we going to do that? We're going to do it by doing some type of conditioning called metabolic conditioning, or surge training. What that is